Hello and welcome to the 2021 Music City Open presented by Dynamic Discs. This is the final stop on the PDGA National Tour. I am Sarah Sinclair, joined by Leah Tsinajinnie. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I'm excited to be here.
This is the round one FPO feature card. We are playing the Cedar Hill Disc Golf Course. This coverage is presented by Infinite Discs.
There's been a lot of rain here in Nashville for the past couple days, so we had the courses looking pretty muddy, but on Wednesday we had a dry day, so the course looks like it's in pretty good shape for round one.
On this card, we've got Rebecca Cox, Sarah Hokom, getting tricky there. Valerie Mandujano. It's a pretty stacked card, if you ask me.
Yes.
And to round it all out, Missy Gannon. And interestingly enough, none of these women played in last year's event when it was an A tier, so it'll be interesting to see how they hit these somewhat tight gaps at this course.
Yes, I really enjoy Cedar Hill because it's one of the more strategic FPO layouts that we have on tour.
For sure. So this is hole one. It's a par 3. This is actually a new pin placement for this year. It's 356 feet. The goal is just to get around the corner. It looks like a simple backhand hyzer, but it's kind of a tricky angle. So you want to make sure that you're giving it the right height to be able to penetrate forward toward the pin. So leading us out is Rebecca Cox. There's also somewhat of a low ceiling here as well. So you see her kind of put it low. Luckily, she gets a little bit of a skip.
Looks like Sarah's most likely lining up beforehand.
Something's funny. I feel like we're going to see most of the women throwing maybe their max drivers, maybe fairway drivers just to stay in the middle.
Valerie, Mandujano. Make sure the roll mic is on.
Valerie here. She left the tour for a minute because of a hand injury.
Oh, she puts it a little bit right. Wow, but sneaks through those two trees. Let's see if Missy can get it a little bit closer for a putt. And in true Music City form, even during round one, we've got our music, our tee-off music. What was your song?
I picked, I think, Red Rhythm. It's a song by an indigenous band.
Awesome. Mine was Fiona Apple, Criminal.
Cool. I actually had forgotten what I picked.
Oh, that was a very nice approach. This approach is relatively simple, but if you put it a little bit too far, this is why I actually love this pin position. That was very timely because Rebecca Cox just hit the vines that are right behind the basket. So if you put yourself behind these vines, it can be kind of a challenging putt.
Yes, so all four players are doing what pretty much most of the FPO field is going to do on this hole, which is just get a drive out there, hit their approach, and take a 3 on hole 1.
And this played as the second most difficult hole, I believe, relative to par. So just meaning that there were, it played at or above par.
Yes, it played around just over a half stroke over par. So maybe a little bit of first hole jitters, maybe a little bit of drives that didn't make it out the gap.
It's very easy to to cut off that corner and not get out in the middle on your initial throw. So that's the mistake that we would see mostly on this hole. That's what you want, some stress-free putts on hole 1.
This is hole 2. It's a par 5. The first hole, the first throw, you want to get right around here. This is the landing zone, and then you're going to be throwing a right turning shot into the gap here. And hopefully you can throw your third shot for an approach on the green and a look at your birdie 4.
So this is also kind of a new pin position. A couple years ago, they implemented 3 new shorter holes. We call them the inner holes. And this basket actually is one of the baskets for the inner holes. So the original pin position for this is about, I would say, 80 feet shorter. But this just pushes very long. That is a perfect shot. And with many of the fairways on this course, you've got some slope. You have a little bit of elevation change. But as you'll see as we get further down this fairway, there's a slope, and it kind of makes your disc do some funny things like we're seeing right now, hitting roots and rolling away. You might have to disc up or disc down to kind of challenge the sloping fairways.
Missy was a little inside on that one. She'll be going up first.
That is the mistake that you see usually on this hole, on this tee shot. That was a perfect out.
Rebecca's drive left her a little pinched, so this is just a placement shot to get into the gap for her third. She can definitely get to the pin from there, but it'll be a little tough.
I love this play, though, just kind of playing the drive out wide and then having this approach shot around the corner. Either way, you're kind of throwing at a wall of trees on this second shot, but being on that right side off of your drive definitely opens up the gap a little bit more. She puts it a little... Oh! It looked a little wide, but it turned out perfect.
I love when Missy pulls out her forehand. She definitely has a great utility forehand.
Definitely. So everyone's going to have some trees to contend with, but that is typical on this course. Oh, so it was hard to even tell which gap she was going for because there's so many options.
So it looks like Valerie here is going for the right side. There's a smaller fairway on the right side of the hole. And it almost got skipped up into the green, but she'll be in circle 2.
Oh, Hokom's got a perfect little tunnel up here. Oh, she still made some forward progress. She's got a putt.
Yeah, she had the best second throw of the group and still landed right near the edge of the circle.
Even though she missed her intended gap, she still got through quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca pitching up.
One of the other challenging parts of this course is that when it's not really muddy and squishy, you've got this hard-packed dirt like you're seeing under the basket on hole 2, and that can lend to a lot of rollaways and action.
Missy almost getting her par save there, but she'll be tapping in for a bogey. This is Sarah for her birdie.
Yeah. Very nice.
That was a great hyzer putt. We got the Ace Run Pro run back.
Dang. Perfect angle.
Sarah's putting has been on fire lately. If you saw her at GMC, she was making putts from everywhere in Circle 1 and Circle 2. Rebecca and Alexis got in close to the pin on their fourth shot, so they are both tapping in for their par. I really like this wooden frame around the pin.
It is
helps stops
extremely
rollaways.
helpful, yes.
We almost had one on our card, but it saved it.
Oh, that's great. So we've got a little bit of a walk to the next hole, but yeah, Missy Gannon taking the 6 on that hole, which happens to the best of us. Hole 3 is in the traditional pin location, 266 feet straight up. You've got quite a bit of elevation change. And then like I was talking about before, there still is this slope. So you really have to commit to either a hyzer flip if you're righty backhand, but making sure that you're not turning it too early into the woods on the right and making yourself really pinched. If you can't reach this pin, there's a lot of area over to the left side for you to hyzer out and still have either a long putt or a short approach.
Rebecca throwing a flippy driver, and it stays on the fairway. She'll have a... Oh, that looks like it's towards the edge of Circle 1.
Yeah, that was great. Maybe just a touch low. And there's some areas to sneak through there. Ah, she gets caught up in the wooded line over there.
Missy gets good turn on her drive. If it gets past those last few trees,
Beautiful.
she's pinned deep. That's great.
I don't know about you, but I was using my little forehand putter shot all day just to make up the difference from when I would hit a tree and just kind of scramble.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this hole's particularly if you hit your line, it's going to be easy to pitch up for your par. The only danger on this hole is the right side if you get in the rough. Rebecca giving a good bid from Circle 2.
Very nice.
This is Missy for her birdie. And she makes good. Solid 20-footer. Starting on hole 2 through probably until hole 8, these next few holes, every FPO player is trying to birdie. This course is very scoreable for the field, so we're going to be seeing a lot of birdie attempts on these next holes.
Hole 4. This is a fun hole. It looks just like a simple hyzer out there to the right, but again, you've got this slope left to right. I've seen lots of rollaways on this hole. This pin is definitely reachable by the FPO field, but you have to commit to that hyzer and not put it too wide. This hole used to be a little bit harder. There actually used to be a tree right in the middle of the fairway. So it's opened up, and that's exactly how you want to do it. Good job, Missy.
That was a great drive. Sarah's going to be trying to sneak through the left side of the fairway here. You got a gap where you can shoot a flex line through.
Oh, wow. And she lands a little bit short. She's going to have a wall of trees to get through for her approach shot.
Rebecca has all the distance, so she's definitely going for the pin on this one. She pulls it a little right, but it's hyzering back.
She got a cool little air bounce on that.
And she got past that past the last set of trees, so she'll be putting. Valerie with a good pull might be hyzering a little early.
Yeah. Oh, Hokom ended up with a great open gap for her approach.
Easy peasy for her.
Very nice.
Here's Rebecca with the first putt. This is for birdie. Let's see if she can get it.
Awesome.
Great putt, Rebecca. That was solid, right near the edge of the circle.
I do want to point out, too, as a Nashville local, this is the nicest day that we have had in probably a year. So you're seeing players wear pants for the first time. Mm-hmm. Well, not their first time, but it was just absolutely gorgeous day, especially after all the rain broke. We're used to high humidity and heat around here, so it was upper 60s, low 70s. Just a beautiful day for disc golf. Second day of fall, I think, so...
Yes, the first day of fall ended up feeling exactly like that.
Yes.
So we have Rebecca and Missy carding the birdies on this hole. We're going into hole 5. This is a par 3, 236 feet. It's straight uphill and it turns sharply right. So most righties are going to be trying to throw a turnover backhand with a late turn. And Sarah likely will be throwing a forehand up here. This is definitely gettable. Everyone is going to be attacking the pin.
This is a really touchy shot. It's very uphill, but also has a very low ceiling. And then this hard-packed dirt and lots of roots and lots of other... There's just lots of things going on in this hole. So you really have to commit to a hyzer flip or Sarah with her forehand. You can sometimes get stopped up by these... I don't think they're railroad ties, but... this wood that's kind of sitting in the middle of the fairway. But if you do make it all the way up there, there is some skippiness that can happen that can get you close to the basket.
Valerie lines up beforehand. It's a little low, but she'll be safe from there to pitch up to the pin. Rebecca's drive shows us the danger with the potential danger with a turnover shot. It can kick left away from the pin. Thankfully, she has an open look towards the basket. Valerie pitches up nicely. And so Missy's drive here is if you can get a turnover shot into circle 2, then you'll have a look at the pin. You don't have to get it very high up the hill. So this is her look for birdie. And Sarah with the best look, but it's still a long bid.
Oh, man. So close.
Yeah, that one was about 50-50. Could have stuck, could have chained out like it did. So we have Valerie and Missy and Sarah with their pars.
Interestingly enough, there were no birdies on the day for our field on this hole.
I don't believe that's true because Natalie and I birdied this hole on our card.
Well, my bad. Foot in mouth. Congratulations on your birdie.
Thank you.
I'm sorting on UDisc incorrectly, apparently.
No worries, no worries.
Hole 6. This is another new pin. First, you just want to get down this gap. If you've got a forehand, that is actually probably the preferred play so that you can scoot around this corner. And then you've got these 4 trees lined up kind of perfectly right in front of the basket. And this pin position is right between the former shortest position and the longer position, so it actually makes it birdieable for our field, which is great.
Missy throws a forehand. It's a little bit inside. She should be able to get a second shot from there. Sarah trying to do the skip play. If you can hit an overstable disc on the right angle, you can definitely skip down towards the pin and have a putt.
That
Valerie.
looks wonderful. She's going to be close on that drive.
Yes. She threw more of an air shot, so that one looked really good.
Okay, I was hoping that one of them would go backhand because that's my play on this hole. And I have yet to get it super close. Okay, so she went a little bit early. Possibly a cut roll down there, but she'll be up there for her 3. This is what you do not want to contend with off of the tee.
Rebecca with a touchy approach. Goes a little long.
And Hokom's got these 4 trees to work with. Sit down.
And Valerie's drive got a good skip, but she still has a long putt. So she's approaching there.
Oh. At least that's that. I've seen some pretty heartbreaking rollaways on this hole.
Sit. Yep. This can be a scary putt, especially if you're on the uphill side of it. Valerie with her par. Sarah's going to be tapping in for her par as well. And Missy and Rebecca tapping in for their bogeys. This hole, definitely you want to just get it out and try to get your 3 because this is going to be a hard 2 for some players.
If I sorted them right, it looks like there were no 2s on this hole.
That
I
would
see
make
what I
sense.
did. I see what I did wrong.
This is hole 7. It's a par 4, 632 feet. Honestly, this has to be my favorite drive on the course. It's a downhill bomber. You're trying to get right around here. And then you'll have about a 275-foot approach to the pin. So it's very birdieable, but the danger lies in the low ceiling and the downhill shot. So matching the angle of the hill is really important.
It's so crazy how the elevation does not come through on camera. It looks... Oh! This is when you do want the roll.
So Sarah's forehand drive hit the top of the top ceiling on the Cedars, and she rolls towards the left, which is actually a great roll.
A little bit high. If she can land just in the middle. Not bad. Oh, keep going.
Yeah, on the right side there, you can't throw forward as much, so she'll probably just be pitching out towards the gap.
Oh, that needs to flip. It would be perfect. Oh, man. Let's see if Rebecca can get all the way down.
Looks like she opted for a slower disc.
Get through
And
there.
it's got a good skip. She might have a step out to throw towards the pin.
When we played at 2:30, there was a pretty good headwind coming up the tunnel, and it looked like the trees were moving in the same kind of way. So I definitely disced up to something a little bit more overstable throwing this shot than I normally would.
Missy throws a great second shot that'll give her a good approach to get her par. Sarah also getting out the gap even further, so she'll be in the fairway probably about 80 to 90 feet from the pin.
I would say this is the signature hole in the course. This is the one that I always take videos of whenever I'm playing here locally.
I believe that. This is a great hole. It's birdieable, but it's challenging with the first shot. And here we have Rebecca. She got down all the way and has to hit the tiniest gap.
I wasn't sure if she was going for that right gap or a little bit more open on the left, but
She hits the last tree, but she'll be in circle 2.
beautiful.
This is also one of the holes that gets the most spectators. There's parking over here, so you'll see a lot of people watching holes 7, 8, 9, and 10.
These holes are also interesting because you're in the woods the entire time and don't really see anybody, any cars or roads or anything, and then you pop out on this backside of the course and it's very loud from the traffic. There's actually a haunted house. I'm not sure if you heard the haunted house sounds that were happening.
I did not.
They were if you're easily distracted on the putting green, I could see how it could get in your head a little bit, but our card was laughing most of the time.
Looks like this card will be getting out with all pars on hole 7, which is great because I'm guessing this averaged over par.
I will be able to tell you that. Yep, hole 7 played about a third of a stroke over par. Everyone's still pretty tight
Disc
there.
golf was a sport that nobody knew about when I first started playing. I had to explain it to my parents, my family.
When I first started, I grew up in Ohio playing disc golf and just playing locally.
It was, not as big of a deal. There was never a gallery. There was never video coverage. I've been touring for the last decade and seen this early point in development now to this crazy growth.
Parents can want their kids to play disc golf because there's a future there, there's money, there's professionalism.
I just imagine it just getting bigger and better, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Hole 8 is actually one of my favorite holes in the course. I wouldn't say it's super scoreable for the women. It's 422 feet. It's a par 3. It's just, you really just want to get through the initial gap, which doesn't come all that much into play, but it can kind of play some head games on you throwing through these uprights. And then you just want to push as far forward as possible. There was a pretty big headwind when we played. So I think the play is kind of landing more right so that it opens up your approach shot. But you'll see many people who don't have a ton of distance kind of hyzer out on the left and get caught up in a little tunnel of trees. So this actually looks pretty good until you get over there, speaking from experience, and there's a giant cedar tree on the corner that kind of cuts off your approach shot. So I'm interested to see if she can scramble from that position. And there was a headwind as well when we were playing, so that's why you're seeing everything leak right. That's going to be a tough lie.
Rebecca, a little low, and in a similar spot to Valerie. They'll be having to throw around that cedar that Sarah was talking about.
Uh-oh, we got the roller. Ugh. It's so easy to get caught up in this approach shot.
Throws it a little too high around the cedar, so she will be throwing another approach shot. Hope maybe putting.
Left herself with a little bit of a putt there.
This hole, hole 8, played as the most difficult hole on the course for FPO. And as you can see, you can get in trouble on the right side and the left side. So this one is definitely a hole where you just want to shoot out straight and give yourself a straightforward approach. Missy doesn't quite get enough flex on her forehand, so she'll be in circle 2. This is Sarah putting for her bogey.
Great save.
And there's nothing wrong with the bogey here. It's definitely playing a good bit over par. This is Valerie for her par.
I want to give a shout out to Amber Meese, who actually birdied this hole with a 150-foot throw-in.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Definitely a bonus stroke there. That's
For
great.
sure. I mean, she literally got a stroke on the entire field.
Exactly. That's great to see from Amber. This is hole 9. It's a par 4, 495 feet. You want to shoot somewhere around here and land straight enough so that this is a kind of a straight backhand approach. It's about 250 to 275 feet on your second shot. So you just want to stay out in the middle on your drive.
Yeah, the first drive is kind of a placement shot. Where she landed should be fine. If you push too far forward where the men's pin is and where the traditional pin location is for this hole, you're going to go too far. Mm-hmm. So there were some women on our card that threw mid-ranges just to line up with the gap.
Yes. Missy looks like she landed in a good spot.
Oh, that's going to be... there might be something over there.
You can get a little sneaky on the right side.
I was going to say, as with many holes in this course, you may land in a place that you didn't intend to, but then have a surprise gap to hit.
That looks like the ideal landing spot where Rebecca is, so she should have a good approach towards the pin.
And really, wherever you land your first shot in this hole, you're going to have to contend with many trees, as you see here.
Yes.
Just kind of have to pick a gap and commit to it.
Valerie hits her line and fades a little bit left, but she should have an easy approach to the pin. Hey, this is where I threw from.
Nice.
Missy throwing a turnover backhand, and she should be right near the circle. Yes.
If you listen very closely, you can actually hear the haunted house sounds.
Oh. Oh yeah, I can hear it. So Sarah did land on the right side off the fairway, but she has a shot out, and she should be able to pitch up easily for her par.
Wow. She got so far, even though it was a little bit off fairway, that she had a great look at the basket there.
Rebecca throwing a flex with a mid-range. It looks like it landed past the pin in circle 1. Sarah with a good approach. That should be for her par. Same for Valerie. I know know she loves that Nova. This is Missy for birdie.
Oh, that was a tough putt. Around the tree, it's downhill. Rebecca's just a step or two inside circle 1. Awesome.
That was a great putt. Sarah for her par. Same for Missy, as well as Valerie.
There actually were a number of birdies on this hole. So many women that I'm not going to read their names out. It would just take too long. So congrats to everyone that took 3s on this hole.
Yes, this is one of those holes where if you get a 3, I would be proud of myself on that, because there's a lot of trouble you can get into.
So that was our front 9. We've got everyone kind of locked up at even or +1. Thank you for joining us. For myself, Sarah Sinclair, and Leah Tsinajinnie, and we'll see you on the back 9.
Thanks, everyone.